Welcome to this webinar series focused on empowering Texas classrooms through partnership with Reading Horizons. In this first of 3 sessions, I will guide you through a high-level overview of the Reading Horizons mission, unique method, and solutions. Let's get started. Throughout the webinar series, you'll be interacting with our talented and experienced education consultants. I'm Shannon Bowles. I'll be your Reading Horizons guide in these webinars. Following the webinars, you will have the opportunity to keep the conversation going with our team of knowledgeable account executives. Please note which Texas regions they each work with to see who your contact will be for next steps. Over hundreds of conversations with Texas educators and administrators, we've learned 5 things that are typically the most important when deciding on a foundational literacy curriculum. I'd like to share them and think about what resonates with you the most. The first one is streamlined. Administrators and educators, they want to make the most efficient use of their instructional time. Another big consideration is flexibility. We want customized learning and training options, including hybrid, virtual, in-person, embedded, and ongoing. Another big consideration might be the affordability. Limited funding sources or competing budget requirements means you need something that's cost effective. Something differentiated. You need something that's going to be effective for a range of students. Reading Horizons Discovery is highly differentiated to meet the needs of a variety of students. Another consideration might be empowering your educators. Something that's effective for a whole range of educators, those that are new to teaching, those that might be new to the science of reading, alt certified teachers, teachers with lots of technology in their classrooms or very little technology in their classrooms. So those are some things we've noticed, but take a moment to think about what your most important considerations are in your decision making. Reading Horizons is already making impact across Texas in 142 districts, on 1,387 schools, and with 981,352 students. So why have so many Texas educators partnered with Reading Horizons? Reading Horizons has 40 years of experience effectively implementing the science of reading. We are Orton Gillingham aligned and effective at what we do with making it accessible to teachers and students. We are in all 50 states and 35 countries and in some of the largest school districts nationwide and some of the largest school districts in Texas, including Tyler ISD, Plano ISD, and more. For the sake of simplicity for today, I'd like to ground our conversation in a well-known framework, Scarborough's Reading Rope. This model breaks down the skills that are needed for students to become skilled readers. The lower strands include word recognition skills like phonological awareness and decoding and encoding. The upper strands are the language comprehension skills that are needed, such as vocabulary knowledge, language structure, and verbal reasoning. These skills are built over time and weave together. As word recognition skills become increasingly automatic, language comprehension skills can become increasingly strategic. It's kind of like learning how to drive a car. I have teenagers, and as I sat in the passenger seat with my oldest a few years ago, I watched him death grip 10 and 2, concentrating on how hard to push the gas pedal to move us forward without jerking, or when to move to the brake and how hard to push it, when to let go of the steering wheel to use the turn signal. He was so focused on the foundational skills of operating the vehicle that he had no brain energy available for conversation or listening to music or navigating to new places. You and I don't think about any of those foundational driving skills because those things are automatic for us. We have the brain energy to navigate to new places, listen to our podcasts, or have conversations while we drive. This same concept applies to our students learning to read. If they have to think about every letter and sound as they decode their way through text, they do not have the cognitive bandwidth to attend to language comprehension skills. So we need to help them build automaticity in those foundational word recognition skills, and we need to do it early. in kindergarten through third grade. Reading Horizons Discovery is a structured literacy curriculum, meaning that all skills are taught explicitly, systematically, and sequentially, building from the simplest concept to the more complex. All skills are taught using multisensory techniques for student engagement and connection. Reading Horizons also uses a unique marking system that provides a visual scaffold to help students recognize the patterns in the English language. These patterns are what determine the pronunciation and meaning of words. The marking system is kind of like the FedEx logo. There is an arrow between the E and the X in this logo. And if you've never seen it, there you go. Once you've noticed this arrow, you can't unsee it. The FedEx truck drives by and your brain hones in on the arrow. This is kind of how the Reading Horizons marking system works. Once our students see the language patterns visually, their brains start to recognize these patterns in text. So as we pull back the scaffold of the marking system at the end of every lesson, students' brains are automatically seeking those patterns. Here you can see an overview of the core skills that are taught in the Reading Horizons Discovery program. I will walk you through them briefly today to highlight the unique way we teach these skills. We begin with letter instruction and teaching the alphabetic principle. All four elements of each letter are explicitly taught: the name of the letter, the most common sound of the letter, as well as uppercase and lowercase formation. From there, we can start building to words. The process starts with mapping the phoneme to the grapheme, followed by blending using a slide or body coda approach to blending. This allows for more accurate pronunciation and efficient blending. We then progress to building words by adding an ending consonant and identifying the key feature of the vowel, since every word or syllable must have a vowel or vowel sound. This process ends in constructing sentences. We need students to be able to apply their skills to both reading and writing. All of this reinforces the left to right directionality of print. Once students have a solid foundation in letter sound correspondence, we then move to introducing long vowel sounds. At this point, students move from just marking key features within a word to proving whether the vowel is going to be long or short within a word or syllable. This helps students to understand the why behind how words are spelled and pronounced. Students are learning how to decode a word, not just repeating a rote rule. We teach these skills in a framework called the 5 phonetic skills, which align with syllable types. The process of proving words applies a visual and spatial process that proves why vowels are short or long. When we prove the word, we introduce a road that starts at the bottom left of the word, moves left to right below the word, goes around the end of the word, and moves right to left across the top of the word. The benefits of this process include supporting executive function and reducing the demand on working memory. These 5 phonetic skills teach students the syllable types. I will share them with you right now. Phonetic skill 1, looking at this word, we would move left to right underneath the word first and identify the key feature of the vowel. We mark it with an X. Then coming up and around the end of the word, we look at what follows the vowel. In this word, one consonant follows the vowel. We are going to term this consonant a guardian consonant. What's a guardian's job? A guardian's job is to protect or watch over. This guardian consonant is marked with what we call a guardian star, and one guardian consonant protects the vowel, helping it keep its short sound. So we mark this vowel with the breve or the short vowel marking. The word is met. Phonetic skill 1 is when one guardian consonant makes the vowel short. Phonetic skill 2 is very similar, still proving the vowel short, but let's take a look at this word. Left to right, we would identify the vowel U first and mark it with an X underneath. From there, we come up and around the end of the word and look at what follows the vowel. Now we have two consonants following the vowel. These will both act as guardian consonants, and we mark the P as a guardian first, and then the M following that road. Two guardian consonants protect that vowel, helping it keep its short sound. We mark the vowel with the breve or the short vowel marking. The word is jump. Phonetic skill 2 is when two guardian consonants make the vowel short. Phonetic skill 3 is the first skill to prove the vowel sound long. Let's look at this word. Working from left to right below the word, what do we mark first? An X under the vowel. Then coming up and around the end of this word, what do we see following the vowel? Nothing. And there are no previous vowels. This vowel stands alone. Because the vowel stands alone, it will be long. We mark it with a macron or the long vowel marking. That's phonetic skill 3. The vowel is long because it stands alone. Those first 3 phonetic skills represent our most common syllable types. Once students master those first 3 phonetic skills, they can already decode about 75% of text we put in front of them, which is pretty exciting. Phonetic skill 4 is another pattern to prove the vowel sound long within a word or syllable. So let's go ahead and look at this word. Left to right, we would mark the vowel I first, and we have the vowel E. We have 2 vowels in this word. Coming up and around the end of the word, what do we see at the end? We see a vowel with nothing behind it. However, this vowel does not stand alone because there's a previous vowel. When E is at the end of a word with a previous vowel, the E will be silent. So we mark that E silent. Notice that we mark that line through the E, but also through the X beneath it to show that this is not a working vowel. There's still only one working vowel and one syllable in this word. Silent E at the end of this word proves the previous vowel to be long. We mark it with the macron or the long vowel marking. The word is bike. So phonetic skill 4 tells us the first vowel is long because the word ends in silent E. Final phonetic skill 5, has to do with adjacent vowel teams. Working left to right underneath this word, we identify the vowel O and the vowel A. We notice that O and A are right next to each other or adjacent. When we have certain adjacent vowels, when we come up and around the end of the word, the second vowel will be silent, proving the first vowel long. So phonetic skill 5 tells us when two specific adjacent vowels are together, the second vowel is silent and the first vowel is long. This applies to 9 specific adjacent vowel teams that are explicitly taught to students and represented on a reference poster. These 5 phonetic skills act as a framework or backbone to build additional skills out from. Once students have mastery of these 5 phonetic skills, they can easily prove whether the vowel is short or long within single syllable words. Looking at this first word we have on the top left, if we were to prove this word using our 5 phonetic skills, we know that vowel is going to be long. It follows phonetic skill 3. The vowel stands alone, so it is long. The word is mo. What if we add a consonant to the end, like in our second word in the top right? Now it follows phonetic skill 1. One guardian consonant proves the vowel short. The word is mott. If we add an E to the end, now we have phonetic skill 4. Silent E at the end proves the previous vowel long. The word is moat. At this point in the scope and sequence, we move students into working with multisyllabic words. Looking at this word, we know that we have 2 vowels and neither of them are silent. So we have 2 syllables in this word. What do we do now? We teach students 2 simple decoding skills to know where to divide any word of any length. Our first strategy here is to identify key features underneath the word. Working left to right, we identify the vowel O and the vowel E. We know we have 2 syllables in this word, so we are going to back up and look at what is between the 2 vowels in our word. In this word, we have 1 consonant between the 2 vowels. Decoding skill 1 tells us when there is 1 consonant between 2 vowels, that consonant will be part of the next syllable, or one must run. That T will run with the next syllable, so we divide in front of the consonant T. And then we use our 5 phonetic skills to prove the vowel sound in each syllable. Moving up and around the end of our first syllable, we see that vowel stands alone, it will be long, phonetic skill 3. Proving the second syllable, we have 1 guardian consonant. Proving the vowel short, phonetic skill 1. Our word is motel. Decoding skill 2 is similar. We're going to work left to right underneath the word first to identify key features like the vowel A and the vowel U. We know we have 2 syllables in this word, so we are going to back up and look at what is between the 2 vowels. In this word, we have 2 consonants between the vowels. Decoding skill 2 tells us that when 2 consonants follow a vowel, they will split between syllables. 2 will split. So we divide between the M and the P in this word. And then we can apply those 5 phonetic skills to prove the vowel sound in each syllable. Both of these syllables follow the same pattern. Phonetic skill 1, 1 guardian consonant proves the vowel short. The word is campus. The goal is to help our students become independent readers who can look at any word of any length and apply their skills to identify key features in the word, break it apart, and prove the vowel sounds in each syllable to read the word. Students are empowered with proven strategies that increase their self-efficacy because they have skills that work. They see the results, and so do their teachers and administrators. Let's turn our attention to what teaching these skills looks like. Our goal is to simplify reading instruction for educators, students, and administrators. In every school and district, teachers have varying levels of experience, skill, and confidence. We need to meet teachers where they are. Teachers also need quick feedback about the effectiveness of their lessons. Reading Horizons Discovery can turn every educator into an expert. We turn every teacher into an expert by designing our curriculum to align with the data-driven teacher instructional cycle. We begin the teacher instructional cycle by equipping teachers with simple preparation video modules and guiding them to review the scripted lesson embedded with teacher tips. Our primary lessons are scripted to include all components of a foundational literacy lesson and end with a skill check assessment. The skill check is aligned to the skill instruction of the day and empowers teachers with actionable insights that inform differentiated practice. All foundational literacy skills are covered and embedded within this primary lesson, including phonemic awareness activities, sound spelling wall instruction, letter formation, explicit phonics instruction focused on decoding and encoding, and fluency practice with choral and repeated reading of skills in context. Students move from phonemic awareness to decodable passages within the same streamlined lesson. At that point, they take that short skill check assessment, which can help inform differentiated extended transfer in groups and centers. The alignment and the usability have both been vetted and rated as all green on EdReports, so you know you're getting a comprehensive program that aligns 100% with TEKS. To recap what we just looked at with the instructional cycle, Reading Horizons Discovery provides streamlined lesson prep with embedded coaching videos, scripted lessons with added features like the ability to project student visuals, and data-driven insights about effectiveness and impact of the lesson that can be used to inform differentiated practice and small group activities. Our next webinar in the series will focus on the Reading Horizons Discovery teacher experience and go into more detail about the instructional cycle and lesson delivery. But for now, take a moment and consider how an approach like this would transform the way your teachers are currently teaching foundational skills. When it comes to students, we've noticed 3 critical problems that are leaving instructional gains on the table. I want to share them with you, and let's think together about how we can mitigate these issues. Number 1, teachers do not have enough instant and actionable data to help them be responsive to the diverse needs of their students. Oftentimes, teachers are responding to data that comes from benchmark assessments or unit tests, and they don't have insight into who understood today's content. So they can intervene and provide additional support before it's too late or before it's Friday and we've moved 3 skills ahead and this student still didn't understand Monday's lesson. Teachers are also often charged with differentiation, and they are looking outside of the curriculum. They're finding unaligned resources and providing students with individual practice that is disconnected from daily skill instruction. The execution of real-time data for real-time differentiation is what makes Reading Horizons different for students. Through Reading Horizons Discovery Live and Reading Horizons Discovery World, students are automatically assigned to a recommended skill-based small group for differentiated instruction based on teacher observation and skill check data. We provide ready-made centers for teachers with decodable texts, scripted small group lessons, decodable readers, and choice boards. With review days built into the curriculum scope and sequence, teachers can track student retention and proficiency over time and ensure that we're not only teaching systematically, but also cumulatively. What new possibilities do you see for meeting every student exactly where they are with this type of real-time data? The last thing I want to share is how we empower district leaders to optimize both implementation and outcomes. Often we hear from leaders who feel disconnected from the real impact of their curriculum. They wonder about questions like, where should we focus our professional development efforts? How much time are teachers dedicating to lessons? Or what specific skills are students mastering over time? Simply put, it's hard for them to assess the health of the implementation. Without clear, actionable insights, leaders are left to make decisions based on delayed data, like common benchmark assessments, which don't really allow for proactive adjustments. With Reading Horizons Discovery as your foundational literacy solution, you will be partnered with a dedicated implementation manager. As part of showing up as an invested partner, together, you and your implementation manager will begin by identifying the district's literacy goals and scheduling professional learning sessions to set teachers up for success at the start of the school year. Reading Horizons professional learning sessions go beyond simply unboxing teacher materials. The professional learning is interactive, hands on, and most importantly, focused on building teacher confidence. 95% of teachers leave our professional learning sessions not only more of a reading expert, but also feeling excited to teach the lessons, empowered to bring the curriculum to life in their classrooms. As the implementation gets started, admins can begin seeing real time data on the progress across the district. Using the Administrator Overview portal, you can quickly identify patterns across grade levels and schools, spot teachers who might need extra support, and get a sense of each school's implementation effectiveness. With these insights, you can collaborate with your implementation manager to organize additional virtual professional learning sessions for targeted PLCs and in person coaching, tailored to address teachers' unique needs and reinforce the initial training. I also want to take a moment to highlight the success of partners we've worked with. You can access our Tyler ISD research study in the follow-up materials that we will share with you to learn more about the literacy growth Tyler ISD experienced while using Reading Horizons Discovery. But in a nutshell, this rigorous study compared impacts between students whose teachers implemented Reading Horizons Discovery and those whose teachers did not during the 2021-2022 school year. With exposure to the Reading Horizons method, average student growth was more than double that of students without exposure. Pretty exciting. I want to thank you for joining us for this session. If you're watching this recording and want to get in touch with your Reading Horizons representative, please email us at marketing@readinghorizons.com or visit readinghorizons.com/Texas. We hope to see you soon in session 2.